that's big business. Hit 10, but that's big pimpin'. My potential, that's infinite. Pin game insane. Make hits like King Griffin, a 10th inning.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 40 of the 10th Inning Podcast. I'm Sean. He's Dan. And
honestly, what I have for you today is at some point during this episode, I'm probably going to have to pee. So I'm going to go in another taro milk teacup, probably mid-ep. And really what I'm holding today is the hopes and dreams of Albert Pujols in the home run derby, Sean. We're talking, he goes out there, hits 13. Everyone's like, oh, it's a beautiful story to have him come. Kyle gets up there. I was laughing the whole time. I was like, Kyle, you can't not get 14, Kyle. Because everyone's like, it's like he took a seat. He had given his gloves away to a fan. Like, Pujols was done. And he ties him, and then Pujols comes back up there. He's like, listen, if you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it. 7 in a minute. Why don't you, Albert? At the ripe old age. Could be 50. We don't even really know when he was born. And that's, the legend of Albert Pujols grows. Thanks for joining us today.
we're very, very glad to have you. We'll definitely be talking about the Derby throughout the episode, and we'll have what appears to be aneurysms every time Julio Rodriguez does something good or bad.
He's on a tear right now.
That's great. I hope Pete beats him, but it's going to be a tough one to beat. You want to hop into some league news here?
I'd love to hop into league news.
This is a bit apropos here, but Juan Soto, who's just tearing the cover off the ball in Derby, may or may not get traded by the Nationals. That's been talked about for a while, but it's looking like he's going to get traded now after turning down a 15-year, I think $440 million contract.
That is correct. Also, if at any point you see my cock, let me know.
You heard it here first, folks. But he turned that down. I think what's coming down to is that he just doesn't want to play for the Nationals for a long period.
Oh. I got to tell you, the smell of taro milk tea and piss mixed together is not as great as you would imagine. It's wafting up here.
That's lovely. I don't know what else to say.
I am dehydrated, though, folks. I will tell you that.
Soto's probably going to get traded, and I don't know. They say they're not in a rush, but a lot of people think he's going to get traded by the deadline this year. The haul on that trade is going to be
insane.
Probably the biggest haul that anybody's ever gotten in any trade, in probably any sport for that matter.
Yeah. Talk about KD. Soto's like KD if he was like KD at 23. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and I think that you could potentially give up like 3 to 4 top 100 prospects from a team's farm system for Juan Soto. Because essentially Soto is still a prospect in the fact that his age, he's 23. And a lot of prospects aren't even AAA at that age.
Right. From what I heard earlier on this broadcast that I'm watching the Home Run Derby on, Pete looks like he is on hard drugs, by the way, in the dugout getting ready.
Love that.
As he usually is. Rodriguez at 23. After the original round, he's got a minute left of bonus time. Okay. So can he get to 30 again? This guy is putting up.
He's in trouble. He is in trouble.
But what I was saying is the broadcast said that the Nationals are looking for 3 or 4 major league ready players right now. That's what they're looking for. And frankly, you're just not going to give it to them.
Yeah, I don't know who can make that trade. I mean, the Mets and Yankees were thrown out there because they can both afford him.
Yeah.
But I don't know if either can provide that kind of package. I don't know how many teams there could provide that kind of package, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I tweeted it the other day. Might have been even this morning or yesterday. I was like, if Shohei Ohtani and Juan Soto get moved this deadline, has there ever been a crazier MLB? MLB is a sport where like the stars really don't get moved like that much. We're talking these have an argument to be the best 2 players in baseball. There's an argument to be made for it. I know there's Mike Trout, there's other players out there. The best 2 players in baseball moved at the deadline. That could be, that's insane. Even for Ohtani, with 1 year left, the kind of haul they can get for him I mean, he's an all-star MVP hitter, Cy Young pitcher on the same one roster spot. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the Nationals have done what they could do to sign him. I mean, aside from getting rid of everybody who's good, but they've offered him, I mean, massive contracts. It's a risk on their part as well, but I guess that, I can't blame them for wanting out because they have not done anything really well recently. And
Julio also looks like he's on hard drugs right now. He's past 30.
Really?
Holy fucking shit, man. He's like screaming. He's doing like a David Goggins up there. Like, you're still more now. Oh,
Pete's done. Pete is done.
I think 30 is it, though. I thought he had that 31st.
I don't think Pete could do 30. He hasn't done 30 in a round yet in any of the two prior ones or today. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. Julio Pujols championship.
That's what Julio said he wanted in his interview. So
yeah, that's true.
Finals, but
to just move on, Chris Sale got injured again. Fractured his pinky. I don't know how long the timetable is for him to be out. I don't know if you had seen that.
Yeah, no, I saw it. I definitely saw it for sure. He's on my fantasy team. I'm glad he came back to get me negative points and then get injured promptly. He's done that in back-to-back years now, it would seem. He's been like just using a roster spot on my team for quite some time. This is Dynasty. Actually had a trade in the works for him after his first start where he did okay. I was going to send over Nick Lodolo and Chris Sale for Christian Javier, a guy that obviously I'm high on. If you watched last episode, I think this guy could be something else. Ended up not doing that because I thought I needed more depth in my pitching going into the postseason rather than just one stronger arm. And, the thoughts of Sale, what he once was, could he be great again? Lodolo has a bright future. And the fact that Javier, when they get not Verlander, who are they getting back? They're getting McCullers back. They might move him back to the bullpen. And I couldn't risk just having a bullpen arm, for two starters. All of a sudden, Javier's probably got a solid spot in the rotation. Chris Sale's out for the rest of his life, and Nick Lodolo's got 2 negatives in a row. So, it changes quick, folks. Yeah. Also, Sean, how you feeling that Michael is 24 and 22 points in his last 2 starts? As far as since he's been with Team Sean, Charlie Morton -4 his only start for the Red Hots. I mean, congratulations, you're up 50-0 on point value.
I'll actually talk about him a little later in the episode.
Yeah, yeah, good. I hope he's your pitcher of the week, you fucking piece of garbage. I can't even. He honestly was almost my pitcher of the week. I didn't have the heart. He had 2 wonderful starts this week. Yeah, I'm continue with league news, Sean. I can't.
Oh God. Kumar Rocker yesterday got selected 3rd overall by the Rangers, which is, I think, got picked 11th by the Mets last year.
10th, I think it was 10th.
10th, yeah, and he moved up in the draft after getting arm or shoulder surgery, which a lot of people were shocked by. Frankly, I don't know if it was a very smart move, but Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker are back together again in the same organization.
I love that. They used to be. I had both of them. I drafted both of them the first year in Fantrax, both while still in college. I've since dropped Kumar Rocker after the whole shoulder speculation. I might pick him back up if I have a roster spot because I was high on Kumar Rocker even more so than Jack Leiter. I love this kid. Yeah. Huge frame, like 220, 6'3", big boy, big righty. Love his stuff. Filthy off speed. Right future for Kumar.
Absolutely. So Matt Holliday and Andrew Jones kids were selected 1 and 2 overall, respectively. There were also other players drafted whose dads are in the major leagues. I think Carl Crawford's son was drafted. Maybe Gary Sheffield's son. If not this year, he will be drafted at some point soon. Cool stuff.
I'm gonna take a minute to actually push back on that. I do think it's very cool. The only part I don't think is cool is I think we're getting to the NFL coaching aspect coming into baseball, where it's like a lot of these bloodlines are just taking over. And obviously with coaching, it's different because you can't really tell whether someone deserves it or not, right? It's hard to tell as far as resume. With playing, you either can play or you can't. the issue I have with it, if it's just pretty telling that when you're at an advantage financially, how much easier it is to make it to the big leagues. I mean, these kids are around baseball 24/7. Obviously, that's an inherent advantage. Their parents can teach them. They're obviously genetic advantages. But I mean, they have access to the greatest facilities, the greatest coaching, the greatest everything. And you have to imagine that plays into it a lot. I think it's just unfortunate that, although I think they said 6 out of the first 18 picks were African American, which is great because that's a part of MLB that's gone down. Believe it or not, the last 40 years, African American players of African American descent has gone down. So it's good to see a lot of those people getting picked. My favorite draft pick, name slipping my mind now. Who's Tamar Johnson? I love Tamar Johnson. So I was hoping he went to Miami to play with Khalil Watson up the middle. That'd be kind of filthy. But Tamar Johnson and O'Neal Cruz, that's a fun future to look forward to.
Yeah.
There needs to be something done with the youth and getting more access to people with lower socioeconomic backgrounds to get more scouting. Because a lot of these kids, they all just go to Perfect Game, and travel ball costs how many thousands a year. And a lot of kids just don't get looks.
Yeah.
Aggravating. That's my little soapbox today.
That was beautiful. But something else you're passionate about is Clayton Kershaw is the starting pitcher for the National League. Frankly, didn't deserve it, but it's in Dodger Stadium. I think Sandy Alcantara should have gotten it, but it makes perfect sense. It's Dodger Stadium. He deserves pitch there. And then Shane McClanahan starting for the American League. So
yeah, I'm going to respond to the first statement you made later today because that's all I've been hearing for a long time is frankly he doesn't deserve it. I 100% understand the argument. Sandy Alcantara has had a much better season, but I do have some relative pushback. Like I understand Sandy has had a better season, but people are saying Clayton shouldn't have made the All-Star team, and I think as for the last 5 years, it's just preposterous the way people are treating Clayton Kershaw. He's got a 2.13 ERA, basically the best strikeout to walk ratio in the league. And if he didn't, other than to start in Colorado, he'd have like a 1.5. Doesn't matter. But Clayton Kershaw certainly deserved to be an All-Star this year.
I think the issue is he hasn't pitched a lot this year.
70 innings pitched. Alcantara's probably
not a lot, but not as much as other.
Not as much as other people. But I think on a pitch-to-pitch, inning-to-inning basis, he's been just as good as anyone else in the league, and I think any stat will tell you that on a inning-to-inning basis. But Alcantara has certainly pitched more this season. Relievers make the All-Star game, so what Clayton's done over 70 innings is certainly worthy to be an All-Star, in my opinion.
And last note I have is Jeff McNeil is a starting second baseman for the National League because Ozzie Albies can't play. Jazz Chisholm. Ozzie Albies can't play, obviously, but Jazz Chisholm is the one who won the voting. And some respect being put on my man's name, so I appreciate that.
Flying squirrel. Pete is at 21 with 25 seconds to go. We know he's done this kind of thing before. He's starting to put on a show. He's getting hot. I don't know if he's going to be able to come back, though.
He's got the bonus?
He's currently in the bonus.
Oh, it's over.
He just hit like 4 in a row. But that's going to be tough. Maybe
his head bobbing? That's how he's
he just head shook. It's over. Pete Alonso just gave up mentally. I just actually watched him physically give up mentally. The J-Rod Show. That's my boy. We'll get to it later when picks to click, but just know that Sean just lost a point and I gained one. All right?
Yep.
Where are we in this episode?
I just finished my last weekly update was Derby updates, which ironically enough, you just gave us one. So
there you go. Guys, I'm going to jump into something that everyone's waiting for all week. My stats for the week. Didn't have an amazing game this week. Honestly, in game, it felt a lot worse than when you look back at the stats. And I'm that kind of player. I have an off game, Sean, but when you look back, it's still like, you still did pretty well. You know what I mean? I went 4 for 7, a double. Last at bat, I went up there lefty, knocked a single to the right side. You know how we do it, Sean. We're a switch hitter. Went along with 3 walks. Wasn't seeing the ball well, so guess what? I was taking my walks. I get on base. That's 7 out of 10 on base, 700. You know what I mean? Even on an off day, that's how I do it. I got to help the team.
Yeah.
14 innings pitched on the mound. We went 2-0. Game 2, I actually got MVP of the game for my pitching performance. Only 2 earned runs in a slow pitch softball game. So I wasn't feeling at the plate. You know what I do? I went MVP on the mound, Sean. It's the Shohei Ohtani show over here on the Butchers. Beautiful week. Moving on to my hitter highlight. I have 2 of them, Sean. Both of them are either former Dodgers or current Dodgers. The first one is Mr. Fredward Freeman, Sean.
Yeah.
This is the highest average we've had on a hitter highlight. 16 for 24 he went this week, Sean. That is 667. 7 runs, 5 doubles, 3 bombs, 7 ribbies, 2 walks, and only 1 strikeout. His average rose from 304 to 321, and he's got a 335 expected batting average on the season, so expect him to keep getting hot. He has the one thing that is interesting, though, is just a 631 expected slugging, and his slugging right now is only 500, I think 540. So his average might come up a little bit, but expect the ball to start flying out of the park a little bit more. I know his home run total is kind of lower than usual. I think, what is he at? I think he's at 11 or 12. If you could fact check me on that, Sean. But his home run total is a little low for career norms, and I think he's just been getting unlucky with some fly balls. So expect the home run to go out soon. Also, an all-star starter snub, but he eventually did make the all-star roster. I forget who got injured, but Freddie is an all-star, which is good to see. Good for the sport.
He replaced Starling Marte.
There you go. Thank you, Sean. Always coming in with.
And what was the thing you wanted me to fact check?
How many homers he has this season? I said 11 or 12.
Yes, 13. So you're a bit one off.
Well,
So not bad at all.
yeah, but I think he should probably have closer to 15, 16. Expect him to still finish around 25 to 30. So that homer should be more in the second half. My second hitter highlight is going to be Corey Seags, Sean. Baby Seags again. Last week or 2 weeks ago, what did I say? My hot take was Soto and Seager, 6 homers, 500 average. I hate to toot the horn, but I waited. I never put them as the breakout candidate, even when they were struggling for like a month and a half. And then the week I did it, both of them have absolutely went off on a tear the last 2 weeks. So I gotta pat myself on the back. I don't know. I just really picked the right week. We knew they were going to happen, but I just finally picked the right week.
You did.
5 games in a row with a home run. Corey Seager this last week, 7 homers in 10 games, 96% and up on expected batting average, expected waiting on base, and expected slugging. His expected stats are 311, 412, and 614. So the slugging is there. I mean, he's already slugging the ball pretty well. Obviously, 22 bombs. He's in the home run derby. Got eliminated round 1. The on base and average are obviously way down compared to the expected. So, I mean, I really do expect him to still finish around a 300 average. I think he's hitting close to 240 right now. I really struggled to start the season, but I would expect Seager to at least finish at 280, 290, which means get ready for a big second half for Baby Seags. Moving on to my pitcher highlight. Do you have a hitter highlight, Sean?
I do.
Go for your hitter highlight, then. I'm sorry.
Okay. Mine is a very familiar name in Whit Merrifield. Another guy who's also hitting 240 this season. More of a singles, doubles guy. Has some nice speed. But he's had a bit of a rough go of it this year. I mean, who on the Royals offensively has not had a rough go of it?
Andrew Benintendi.
Thank you. That is true. Soon to be traded, most likely.
Yankees
Not to the
trying to get him in.
Yankees, though, because he isn't vaccinated.
That's right. They're looking at David Peralta now. Not sure how that compares, but if you remember in my right fielder videos, I gave a huge shout out to David Peralta. I do feel he's underrated. I like the lefty bat. Maybe that plays in Yankee Stadium. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Whit Merrifield's numbers this week didn't exactly jump off the page. He hit 367, which is great. 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, but the 2 home runs, bit of a note because he, like I said, is not historically a huge power hitter. He'll hit you. He topped out at 19 in his career. He's normally about the range of 10 to 14, but he has 5 this year, but 2 in a week. He's heating up a bit. He's a player I've always liked. I like what he brings to the table. He's a guy who strikes out a fair amount, but in today's day and age, not tons. I like that he has the speed, solid defender. He just it's on the Kansas City Royals, and he also came up at age 27, which is another reason why Juan Soto is going to get traded for so much, because he came up at what, age 20?
He was 19 when he first broke out.
Yeah, that is just astonishing. But yeah, Whit Merrifield, watch him.
I'll be watching. I will certainly be watching. What I'm watching right now is Albert Pujols. He is officially, technically, because the Julio and Pete went first. Technically, he's one of 3 people left in the home run derby. So that is phenomenal. On Albert Pujols' side, no one saw that coming. By the way, just hit one. Looks like about 450 to me. But I'll go to my pitcher highlight for the folks back home, and that is going to be the aforementioned starting pitcher for the National League at home.
Oh boy, it's going to be a rant.
Clayton Kershaw. I won't keep it a rant. You guys, because y'all know, here's the thing. Everyone chatters. They talk. They say shit. People say shit like, oh, who's one of the top pitchers in the MLB? They've been saying Scherzer and Cole and DeGrom and Verlander for 4 years while this guy's still out there just doing it. Just doing it. I understand he's been injured, but like when he's on the mound, he's still just as good as almost all of them. If not better. You guys know. You guys know. I don't got to tell you. Anyway, this week. Talk about this week, though. 2-0, 15.2 innings pitched. He went 7.2 and 8 innings. Of course, both of those were 80 pitches and under because Dave Roberts doesn't let him go past 80. Name a pitcher that could throw 8 innings consistently while having an 80 pitch count. I mean, he's throwing 10 pitches an inning. The guy is fucking phenomenal. He gave up his first hit in the 8th last start. Almost threw another perfect game, but it's just another day out there for Clay. Struck out Ohtani twice. 6 hits over the 15 innings, 1 earned run, no walks. He doesn't really do that often. Lowest walk rate in the league. 16 strikeouts. His ERA went from 2.57 to 2.13. Expected at 2.37, so he's right around where he should be. I don't expect him to get much better or much worse. If you look at his baseball savant page, let's just say it's a whole lot of red. And he deserves to start the All-Star game, let alone be an All-Star. Again, management has been his biggest opponent. If Dave Roberts wasn't his manager, I think he'd probably have 10 more innings pitched and possibly another start. The ERA would probably be lower. Clayton's management, Don Mattingly and Dave Roberts, have effectively not ruined his career because he still is the greatest pitcher of our generation, but definitely hindered people's thought process on him. He's got a 2.13 ERA over 70 innings pitched. He would have the second lowest ERA in the National League, I think only to Sandy Alcantara. I know he just pitched yesterday, so that might be different now. He's phenomenal. He deserves to be an All-Star, and I'm glad he's getting this start. First time it's been in LA since he's come up, and I think it's going to be a really awesome moment to see him out there on the mound. I think MLB's done a really good job of trying to honor the greats because we're in a kind of an inflection point where, you know, the Sotos and the Acuñas and the J-Rods, they're all here and they're all really in stardom. And we're also seeing the old greats start to move out, the Miguel Cabreras, the Albert Pujols, Clayton, you know, those kind of guys. And they are doing a good job of honoring them. So shout out to Rob Manfred for that. I think that's actually something he's done well. That's my pitcher highlight.
Absolutely. I will say this: you have gone from being Kershaw's harshest critic to now being his biggest supporter/defender. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying you used to be ruthless on the man.
Yeah.
If an eyelash was out of line, you would curse him out for it. It's
100%.
nice to see you turn the corner. It is.
Yeah. No, I used to be like, this guy fucking blows. He needs to be better. Because, like, I just saw how much potential he had. And somewhere along the way, people just, like, during a start, I'll be like, Clay, that's a bad pitch. You know better. But like when people in the media like don't even bring him up in like top 10 lists or like they talk about I hear people like on MLB Network say like this past generation, Scherzer and DeGrom and Verlander and Cole, and they all deserve to be there. They talk about the 2010s, like those are the best pitchers. It's like take a look at Clayton Kershaw. He's got 3 Cy Youngs in the 2010s. Like he was
MVP.
like, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like he's been forgotten and wrote off as like this old guy who can't pitch anymore. And I mean, you can't even point to a season that's been the case other than injuries on a rate stat, on a pitch for pitch basis. He's been still elite. He doesn't throw as hard. His stuff might not look it, but he's really changed his game. I mean, there was a season or two there he wasn't as dominant, but now he throws the slider 50, 60% of the time, and he's a different pitcher. He's really evolved, and it's amazing. Pujols looks like he's going to have 15. So more than he had his first round. Man, if Soto can't get 15, I don't know. If Pujols just fucks around and wins this thing, God bless him.
I would love that.
I got $2 on him at plus 2,500, so that'd be $50 for me if Pujols fucks around and wins the Derby.
Fair enough. My pitcher highlight of the week is none other than Miles Michaelis.
Ooh.
He cover your ears while I read the stat line.
I'm not listening. You just talk about it.
14 and a third innings pitched, 2 wins, 1.26 ERA, 2 earned runs, 9 Ks. Not a lot of strikeouts over 2 starts, but he's not necessarily a quote-unquote strikeout pitcher. Charlie Morton's stats for the week. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to go there.
I thought you had him queued. I thought you had him queued up. And who'd he play? Your New York Metropolitans. I hope you were watching the game just clapping up. Be like, this guy blows. Thank God he's off my team.
He normally dominates the Mets too, but instead they hit him for like 5 runs in like 4 innings or something along those lines. Miles Michaelis, great week. I don't want to torture you too much. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
No, it's all right. I blame other people. They always yell at me when I make trades, and I always think it's worse for me. But what are you going to do? I'm going to go to my minor league highlight for the week, and that is Jordan Walker. You familiar with Jordan Walker at all?
The name rings a bell, but I'm not that familiar.
He is a third baseman. He's in Double-A right now in the St. Louis Cardinals organization. He's the number 7 ranked prospect on now the pipeline just updated since all the players have come up that were on the list. He's 6'5", 220, Sean. And he's 20 years old again in Double-A, which is pretty aggressive for that age. So one of these guys that could come up possibly next year at 21. For his minor league career, he's hitting 311, 390 with a 519 slugging. If he can cut down on the strikeouts, which I know is said for a lot of minor leaguers, but it's also common for young kids to swing a lot. I think he could really be elite. He also, just this last week, the newest member of the Red Hots. Couldn't ignore the stats anymore. He's now on the roster for the future. He's on the Fantrax team. I have too many players that are not playing the MLB right now, so let's see if that affects my championship run. We're back. Soto has 5 homers with 1:30 seconds left. Pujols might sneak his way into the finals. Folks, this is ridiculous. They just can't. It seems staged now. And Pujols, it looks like he had a tear running down his cheek when they panned to him there. I can't imagine he's able to take another swing. He might have to retire if he takes another swing tonight. I don't think he has it in him. But this is Jordan Walker. Sean, first thing you see when you're looking at him, big boy, huh?
He looks like Justin Upton.
That's a fair comp. He's pretty tall in his stance. That is a big boy, though. Again, 6'5", 220. Now, when I saw this on his highlight, as you see, we're at a minute in because I was doing some research and I was thinking about picking him up. Again, we're going to do the same thing we do with Carroll. I'm going to let you see the swing. I'm not going to tell you what kind of hit this was. You tell me where you think this ball goes off the swing. What did that look like to you, if you would guess?
I say a double off the wall in the gap.
I saw a double in the gap. That's what I saw from that swing. And it certainly might be.
I feel like you went Yahtzee now.
I mean, that's just straight up on a line. At
Yeah.
20 years old. To me, that swing is, I mean, that's a line drive. That is not a fly ball. That's not a home run swing. For a lot of guys, that's just a ball in the gap, and that clears the wall by a decent margin. At 20, I thought that was really impressive. Off a lefty, no less. Again, just a huge frame, and that's kind of the thing he does right there, is he hits the ball really hard. I don't know what this swing is, but I'll just let this run, see another swing. Nope, it wasn't a swing. It was a take, guys. Now we're gonna wait for a swing because that just was upsetting. Okay, a little jammed. Base hit the other way. That's Jordan Walker for you, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. He's your minor league highlight of the day, so watch out for him.
Oh, speaking of minor leagues, I saw DeGrom pitch AAA this week.
How'd he do?
4 innings, 1 run, but it was unearned, and was mowing people down. And also playing that day was La Tortuga, the Marlins. Somehow he's in AAA right now. The man, DeGrom made him look silly. Helmet fell off. The multicolored hair was flowing. I didn't know he was in AAA. When they announced him coming to the plate, I had a bit of a, moment.
Of course, as you should.
It was pretty cool.
So
But overall, great experience, aside from the game being sold out and taking us about an hour to get into the parking lot and missing the first 2 innings. So he pitched 4 innings. I only saw 2.
Unfortunate.
But other than that, it was great. Yeah.
Soto just had 13. He has a bonus round now. He's got a minute left to get 3.
Wow, he got hot.
Yeah. So he needs 3 more to win. We'll see what that happens.
I think he's got it.
My players to watch, Sean, a guy who usually hits well, and that's Marcell Ozuna. Hey,
He hits baseball as well.
Batting average is 221 right now. Expected batting average of 272. His BABIP's at 239. Career BABIP is 309. So clearly he's getting a little bit unlucky. His max exit velocity is 94th percentile, and his hard hit rate is 85th percentile. I think the biggest difference here, although the average should come up, his expected slugging is still 549, which is really great, but his slugging is only 407. That's one of the biggest differences in the major leagues right now. So expect him to have a lot more hard hit balls, a lot more ding dongs to come. Watch out for Marcell Ozuna, and I mean that in every way. Just watch out for him. Tyler Mahle is my pitcher to watch this week. Okay, 4.48 ERA right now, 3.17 expected ERA. His fly ball rate is a little bit inflated. He's usually gets a little bit more ground balls than he is right now, and he's very underrated. Miley's been someone I've been pretty high on for quite the while. Soto with 30 seconds left, he just tied him. People are low on him. I think he's a really solid 2. That ball is out of here. We will see Soto versus J-Rod in the finals. Again, I think he's really underrated, Sean. He's in the National League. I don't know if you've seen much of him with the Reds. How do you feel about Tyler Mahle?
I'm honestly not too familiar with him.
Yeah.
I feel like the Reds kind of get lost in the shuffle. Mets only play him, 6 games a year.
Yeah. I had him on my fantasy roster for a couple seasons. Again, I just think people don't know enough about him. But he's not an ace. He'll never be an ace, but he's a really solid pitcher. And the reason I like him, we'll go into it for a little bit. Wouldn't be a true 10th inning podcast if I didn't go a little bit into a pitcher. As you see, this is what I'm talking about. Everything's pinkish red. That's just who he is. He's not elite. He's not crazy great, but he's just above average at almost everything. He's like a 3.3, 3.5 kind of guy. But this is why Tyler Mahle's good. And also why he's not elite. He doesn't have elite stuff, right? He's going to throw 93, 94 with the fastball. He's not going to overpower you. But look at this location. Cutter in one spot on the corner. Slider in one spot on the corner. Split finger, two spots on the corner. Fastball completely up and in on the corner. You know what I mean? He is a control pitcher through and through. This is what he's done his whole career. You can look back at any season. He just literally lives on the corner, and he does it successfully. And a lot of pitchers with a lot of good stuff can't do this. You know, to be able to be this accurate is extremely impressive in my mind, and I think he's going to have a longer career than some of the flamethrowers will have. You know, if you can't locate, it doesn't matter how hard you throw, people will hit it. So big fan of Tyler Mahle. I just want to give him a little shout out here today.
I'm sure he appreciates it a lot.
I hope he's a friend of the pod, Sean.
How could you not be a friend of the pod?
Good question. How could you not be a friend of the pod? Just to talk about my hot takes a little bit. Soto and Seager hot take, as I said before, was phenomenal. Starting with the Cubs series, I said the Dodgers wouldn't lose a single game until after the All-Star break. They did lose one. They lost to the Cardinals 7-6 in Game 2 of that series, but they were 8-1 from the Cubs series. So I'll give myself a one-finger pat for that. I was close. My hot take for this week is something we talked about earlier. Soto and Ohtani get moved by the deadline. I think Soto might get moved this week. So to make it even hotter of a take, I think Soto gets moved. I mean, ASAP. I think there's a shot Soto doesn't play another game for the Nationals. I know they're obviously playing on Thursday. Today's Monday. But I don't know. If they're in really serious trade talks, they might just sit him down, rest him. Because obviously if he gets injured, that completely complicates things.
Manny Machado-esque when he got traded to the Dodgers.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Soto doesn't play another game in a Nationals uniform. That's my hot take.
What a situation. The guy was like a top prospect. Oh god, Nationals.
Yeah, I mean it's insane.
It was like 4 years ago. It wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah.
Oh god. You want to talk about the picks to click from last week? I'll give you the updates on how we did.
I have them written. Do you have them written down so that you make? I didn't write them down.
I have them written down. Like last week's one.
Yeah, last week's.
Yeah, I got them right here in front of me.
All right. So how do we do on last week's picks to click here?
So the first one was Josh Donaldson had 10 RBIs this week. How many does he get this week? Dan, you said 6. I said 4.
Okay.
Smack dab in the middle, 5. So no points there.
That always happens with us. I hate that.
Right in the middle. The next one was the Braves are 2.5 games back of the Mets. This is before their 3-game series. Do they catch the Mets this week in their 3-game series? You said yes. I said no. The answer is no. The Mets are currently 2.5 games up on the Braves still after taking 2 out of 3 from the Braves. So that's 1 point for me. Next one we have is, do the Baltimore Orioles get within 2 games of the final wild card spot? The answer is no. Or we said no, and the answer is no. I had it up before. I believe they're 3 games back right now of the final wild card spot. Yeah, 3.5 games back. So
1 for the week there.
So we both get a point there. So we're I guess I'm up 2-1 at this point so far for the week. The next one we got 2 more. How many wins do the A's get this week? They played 4 against the Astros, 3 against the Rangers. We both said 2. The answer was 3 wins.
No points, no dice.
So no points awarded there. And then the last question was, who finishes higher in the wild card standings, the Guardians or the Mariners? You said Guardians, I said Mariners, so I get the point there.
Yeah, Mariners had another good week. 3-1, John, which brings the season total to 13. 13. Sean is officially tied up. Here we are again. Back and forth do we go. This is insane. How do you feel about tying it up, Sean?
I feel great. I really do. The boys played well this week. We were motivated and had a lot of fun playing out there today.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some cheating going on. You know, your first time ever doing the picks to click, you somehow get 3 points. It seems like there could be some cheating. You know, we won't even look into the steroid use that Sean may or may not be having. Our picks to click going into this week, there aren't going to be any real games for the most part. So they were the home run derby brackets. We can go over those now. I'll pull up Sean's here. Sean had Schwarber over Pujols. So, Sean, I hate to tell you, no dice there. Soto over J-Ram. So, if we keep it in tally, that's 1 point for Sean. Excuse me for the burp. Pete over Acuna. Sean, that's the second point there for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Seager over J-Rod. No dice there. So 2 points out of the first round. Second round, of course, point totals doubled. Soto over Schwarber. Sean, there you go. It doesn't matter if it was Schwarber. You got Soto right. That's the winner. Another 2 points, doubled to 4 points. Well, this is going to be a lot for the All-Star break. I like this.
Yeah.
Pete over Seager. Looks like you got that correct again, right? No. Were just neither of those players in the round?
No, neither of them were in it.
Right, Pete. Gotcha. Pete was the only one in the one round. No dice there. Final round, Pete over Soto. No way for that to happen either. So 4 points for you in the All-Star, in the Derby.
So I got a point. I got a point for Soto being in there at least, right?
You get a point for Soto being in there. There you go. That's right. So I'll give you half of what it would be. So 1.5. Well, we can't go halves here. So I'll give you 2. I'll give you 2. That is 6 points for the home run derby for Sean Meyer. For me, we have Pujols over Schwarber. Hot takes gets the point. Soto over Jose. Hot takes gets the point. J-Rod over Corey Seager. Hot takes gets the point. At 3, Acuna. I had Acuna over Pete. Did not get that. So 3 points out of the first round. I had Soto and J-Rod moving on in the second round. Frankly, that's also correct. I had a hot second round, Sean. So that's 4 points. That's 7 points so far. And then I had J-Rod beating Soto. Yet to be seen. I'm going to assume I'm going to get probably 2 points out of that round. But we'll tell you next time. They're currently in it. J-Rod's going right now. Not looking too hot. Soto's looking like he's lurking. I'm going to take the lead, though, Sean. That is for certain. I don't know by how much. How do you feel about your home run derby bracket performance?
I put a lot of faith in my man Pete.
Yeah.
I thought maybe J-Rod would struggle. First time doing it. A lot of times people struggle with that. But I think I just overlooked him a little bit in this. I went more with the favorites than who I really felt might have won.
Gotta go with that heart, Sean. You're a big heart guy. You gotta go with it.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that you could do to come back, we're gonna have a 3-point question here. Okay, we're going crazy at the All-Star break with the points. We're shaking things up. The last question for the week: who will be the All-Star Game MVP? I haven't given this any thought. Actually, now I'm still trying to think who I think will be it.
That's a great question.
Starters.
I feel like it won't be a starter though because they only play like 2 innings.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody else probably plays only 1 inning, I guess. But
I got 2 people in mind. I got Miguel Cabrera because I feel like he wouldn't have to do too much to win it.
yeah,
Like if he has like a double, I think he's locked.
yeah.
The other guy I have in mind, Alejandro Kirk, of course, because how cute would it be, Sean, if he went just Jimmy Jack up there? Oh, that'd be so cute. What are you thinking?
I want to say Soto just because I feel like everything is Soto right now.
Yeah.
Because he's got like a chip on his shoulder after what's going on.
Yeah. You gonna go Soto?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Kirk. I'm gonna lock in Alejandro Kirk. I think it'd be a cute story. I think your pick is certainly better than mine, as I usually feel. But I'm gonna go with my boy Alejandro Kirk. I think if he does something, the cute factor will go crazy. Got anything else for him?
I do not.
He doesn't. He doesn't, folks. Like, comment, subscribe down below. We'll see you next time for 41. After that, we got the special Jackie Robinson episode number 42 coming up. Next episode will be possibly in 2 weeks, possibly in 1 week. We'll see with the All-Star break how we're going to do it. I think we'll have a special episode coming out next week. There's something special for the fans and the folks. Possibly a collab on the way as well. Watch out. We're always working. We're always thinking. We love you. God bless.